In this worksheet called Mixed References, we need to write a formula here that's going to calculate how many couches go to our different regions here. And not only couches, but also recliners and other items here too, and potentially maybe a much bigger list. And writing a simple formula here takes almost no time. If we were calculating only the total for couches for the East, we'd write a formula equal and then multiply these two cells in no particular order. Either C4 times B5 or B5 times C4, we'd come up with an answer. Now, in Excel, that formula could be read as, let's multiply the cell from above by the cell to the left. And so if we were to copy this formula, we would quickly get some answers here that wouldn't make a lot of sense. If we simply drag this down here, we see immediately we've got a big problem. What's this formula doing? Well, it's doing exactly what this formula is if we describe it as multiplying the cell above by the cell to its left. What is this formula doing? Multiplying the cell above by its cell to the left. We don't want relative references here. And it looks as if at first what we really want to do here is to change our initial formula so that it always refers to C4. And if we were to click behind the C4 or in front of it or between the two characters, we could press F4, and that would certainly work if we were concerned only with this column. And so if we complete this entry and then copy it downward into the next few cells, we do have correct answers. But we've got other regions here. And if we look at this formula again, what we're really saying is every formula, if we were to copy this, will always refer to C4. And we certainly don't want to refer to C4 when we're calculating the Midwest totals. We need to refer to D4. So it seems a little tricky at first, but here's something we would notice. Every formula, if we were to consider writing it manually, if you think about it, always needs to get percentages out of row 4. And every formula, if we were to write it manually, would need to get the quantity out of column B, no matter what. And so if we go to our first formula here, what we can do here, and this is by no means intuitive, but if we make sure that our formula always refers to percentages in row 4, we take this portion of our formula and either selecting it all or simply clicking within it, press the function key F4 repeatedly. And notice that we're now seeing the $ appearing in front of the row reference or in front of the column or in front of neither or in front of both. Whatever follows the $ will remain absolute. We want every formula that we would consider writing manually here to always get data from row 4. We need to press F4 repeatedly until we see the $ in front of the 4, but not in front of the C. The quantities in all cases, no matter where the formula might be here if we were doing it manually, needs to get data from column B. So in the other portion of our formula, click in front of it, after it, or between it, press F4 repeatedly so that we see the $ in front of the B, but not in front of the 5. So that's going to be our master formula. Complete that entry, then drag downward, and then drag rightward. Or right then down. Makes no difference. And every one of these formulas appears to be accurate now. And if we just pick one of them, double-click it, we see what's happening. Like every other formula, there's a $ in front of the 4, there's a $ in front of the B. And these are called mixed references. In other words, a portion of the reference is absolute, and a portion is not. Either the row or the column reference is absolute in these examples. And you can imagine in a situation like this, as we put in more and more furniture items, we still need only write one basic formula. Make sure our references are mixed here in the appropriate way, and then copy our formula rightward and downward, or downward and rightward, as the case may be. So a mixed reference is sometimes required, and there's no other quick way to come up with these formulas in a sensible way other than how we just saw it here.